The first time my wife brought another man home, I thought it was a mistake. I had come home late from work, exhausted, my tie loose around my neck. The moment I stepped into our apartment, I heard laughter. Not hers alone, but mixed with a deep, masculine chuckle. My heart clenched as I walked toward the living room, each step heavy with unease. There she was, Elena, my wife of 5 years, perched on the edge of the couch, a wine glass in hand, her red lips curled in a playful smile. Beside her sat a man I didn't recognize, his arm draped too casually along the back of the couch, inches from touching her bare shoulder. She turned to me and grinned, as if nothing was out of place. "You're home late, Daniel." I swallowed hard, keeping my expression neutral. "Who's this?" "Oh," she said, waving a hand dismissively. "Just a friend. We were having a drink." The man stood and extended a hand, introducing himself as Ryan. I shook it, my grip firm, but my mind swirled with doubt. There was something in the air, an intimacy, an unspoken secret, that made my stomach twist. But I forced a smile and excused myself, retreating to our bedroom, heart pounding. That was the first time. The second time, I knew it wasn't a mistake. A week later, another man sat in the same spot. Different face, same easy familiarity. This time, Elena didn't bother with introductions. She just met my gaze, daring me to say something. My throat went dry, but I turned away, pretending I didn't see the way her fingers lingered on his arm, how her laughter carried just a little too much sweetness. I wanted to believe it was harmless. I wanted to believe she still loved me. But night after night, different men walked through our door. Some stayed for drinks, some stayed for hours. I never saw them leave. I never heard her excuses anymore. And slowly, something inside me cracked. One evening, as I stood by our bedroom window, staring at the city lights, she slipped in behind me. Her hand slid around my waist, her breath warm against my neck. "Why are you doing this?" I asked, my voice quiet, afraid of the answer. She sighed, her fingers tracing circles over my shirt. "Because I can." Her words were a knife to my chest. I turned to face her, searching her eyes for something, remorse, guilt, anything that would tell me she still cared. But all I found was amusement, a glimmer of satisfaction. She enjoyed this game. The power. The control. "Elena," I whispered, taking her face in my hands, "do you even love me anymore?" She tilted her head, considering. "Love," she echoed. "I don't know, Daniel. Maybe love changes." I stepped back as if burned. Love changes? Was that all this was to her? A shift, a phase? My chest tightened, and for the first time, I realized something terrifying. I was losing her. That night, I lay awake beside her, staring at the ceiling while she slept peacefully. The woman I had built my life around, the woman I had promised forever to, was slipping away. And the worst part? She wasn't even trying to hold on. The next morning, I made my decision. As she poured herself coffee, humming softly, I cleared my throat. "Elena." She looked up, her blue eyes bright. I want a divorce." The mug slipped from her fingers and shattered against the tiled floor. Silence stretched between us, thick and suffocating. Her lips parted, but no words came out. The playful, confident woman who had taunted me for weeks suddenly looked small. Vulnerable. She swallowed hard, her hands trembling. "You don't mean that." "I do," I said, my voice steady. "I can't do this anymore." Her breath hitched, and to my shock, tears welled in her eyes. She took a step forward, then stopped as if unsure of herself. Please, so?" I had expected relief. A fight. Maybe even indifference. But not this. Not her breaking before me, eyes wide with desperation. "You don't get to beg now," I said, my fists clenching. "Not after everything." Tears spilled down her cheeks. "I never thought you'd leave me," she whispered, voice thick with emotion. I thought you'd always stay. I should have walked away then. I should have picked up my keys and left without looking back. But my heart betrayed me. Because despite everything, I still loved her. She didn't let me go. That night, Elena didn't sleep. She stayed curled up on the couch, silent, her face buried in her hands. I could hear her breathing, ragged and uneven, as I lay awake in our bed, torn between anger and an aching need to comfort her. When morning came, she was waiting for me in the kitchen, eyes puffy but determined. "I can change," she said, gripping the edge of the counter like it was the only thing keeping her upright. I wanted to believe her. I wanted to hold onto the Elena I had fallen in love with. But love wasn't enough anymore. "Elena," I said softly, "it's not just about what you did. It's about how I feel. And I can't unfeel this." She stepped closer, her fingers ghosting over my hand. "We can fix this. I can fix this. Just don't go." For the first time in weeks, I saw her. Not the confident, untouchable woman who played with fire, but the girl I had once promised forever to, the one who had once looked at me like I was her whole world. I exhaled shakily. "Then tell me why, Elena. Tell me why you did it." Her lip quivered. "Because I was afraid." "Afraid of what?" She hesitated, then whispered, "Of losing you." A bitter laugh escaped me. "So you pushed me away first?" She nodded, tears slipping down her cheeks. "I thought if I hurt you first, you wouldn't have the chance to hurt me." Her words shattered something inside me. I had spent weeks feeling betrayed, unwanted. But now I saw her fear, raw and vulnerable. It didn't erase the pain, but it made me wonder, was there still something left worth saving? I didn't have an answer yet. But as she reached for my hand, I didn't pull away. "Not yet,"